I was really trying to get the startup of the game in there. I fired that broadcast as soon as I could. This game fires up so fast I couldn't credit the developers. Um, Now, here we are, Kingdoms and Castles. It's a whole lot of fun, but there is no tutorial on how to play it, and it expects you to know how to play it. So I am not here to offer you a tutorial. Sorry. Um, I'm kind of here to say that I went and looked and found other tutorials on the internet and struggled for a little bit and figured out a couple things, and I'm going to try to be helpful and pass those things on to you. So it's not really a tutorial as much as it is, hey, I had to struggle a little bit. So let's just skip that initial struggling, right? Because I have played similar games to this. Like I loved Anno 1800, played a lot of that, and using a lot of its knowledge here actually helped, knowing that this is a little more compact and not nearly as complex as Shadow 8, or hey, what's up, Shadow? You popped up on screen and therefore entered my speech. Anno 1800. Um, but so just using that knowledge, it made it a little easier. So we are going to show the first cool thing that we were able to do. If you're first starting this game and you look through all the islands, they all look fucking weird and they all look crazy. Something I learned is, okay, standard mode. This is where you're going to want to play over here on the left. Recommended, where you actually have a map and you grow your kingdom and all that. And then there's creative mode. And creative mode is exactly what it sounds like. You get to do whatever you want to without any costs or any consequences and just like build a cool kingdom. Now, this can also be fun to test all the different buildings and see what all's there. So I did that a little bit. I tested different building shapes, sizes, and saw what the game had to offer. And I was like, okay, cool. So this is what I'll have to work with. Now, the other badass thing about creative mode, go into creative mode, create a city, whatever, doesn't really matter. Now, you can go into creative mode and make an island for your survival mode. Yes, it sounds insane. But just for example, we'll show this island here that we just got randomly. Let's lavish it up a little bit. Let's go into edit mode. Now, just to give ourselves some... I'm being attacked by my cat. Not me, but my office chair. To lavish it up a little bit. So it has this big cutout of water in the middle. Let's go and just make some of that some fertile land. We can even make the brush a little bigger over here. Make it a big old 5x5 for now. Go back down fertile land, and let's just paint away some of this water. Now you got a lot more land to work with. Kind of cool. And then you can come in with a like size 1 brush if you want to. Oh, you can also turn on the grid and make it a little more like in mind of the size of buildings and where it's going to go what. You can come in on the edges and rough it up a little, make it look more natural instead of being, the giant natural circle you added. So anyway, we got rid of that big body of water, cool. But I mean, surely we're gonna want some trees, right? So let's just like go back in with that big brush. Give yourself some trees if you want to. This will become a burden, yeah, because you'll have to, you know, clear those trees. But that's a bunch of free wood too. So you could like paint in some trees. And this island creator is freaking awesome. It reminds me of a lot of RPGs that we know and love today that we all play that like used to be top down and pixelated. They like pretty much functioned off this for the entire game's development. And now we can just use it as a paintbrush, like MS Paint mode. So another cool, fun thing we need. Uh, hey, if you would like a little bit more, like very fertile land, hell, paint some more very fertile land in there. Going with a smaller brush. Make it look more real if you want. Like, whatever you want to do, you can do here. I'm not here to create a perfect island. I did do a really cool island, and I'm about to show you the one that I spent a lot of time actually working on. But something to note here, black rock. If you don't want black rock, say, blocking your access to some stone, go ahead, you can get rid of that. Another thing, you can spawn more stone quarries. So if you do that, only spawn them in a one node size, because later in the game, yes, you'll be able to say build a quarry. We'll represent the quarry now with, fuck it, I don't know, a black rock. But you'll be able to do two small quarries on one stone, right? But later on, when you build a large quarry, the large quarry does that around a node. So if you want to place nodes for your own usage, give them enough space to do that and have roads to get to them. So don't place them right next to each other. And if you have some next to the coast, just move them around, stuff like that. You have iron. I don't know what a witch hut does. Fish you can paint in. So you see them on the coast. You actually have to have fish to be able to put a like fishing hamlet for someone to go out and gather them. So you can go to your coast and make some of your coasts a little more lavish if you want. So you can fish on more of them. Like that's a thing. These are just some of the tips that I kind of drew in. Like, okay, so I can set this a little bit. You can be super overpowered with it, or you can be like not overpowered with it at all. But here's the important part, the super important part. If you were watching this up till now, this is why you were watching it up till now. If you just hit, say, I'm on PlayStation 5, circle, okay, or we'll go to done real quick. We're done editing. We made this look exactly how we want, right? We love it. Now, hit circle. Oh, okay, edit the name and banner. Circle again. Choose your mode. Don't hit circle again. Just tab over to standard mode. Hey, I'm now going to play this on survival, the recommended way, so I can earn trophies and all that. Put it on the difficulty you want. Hey, I chose easy because I'm still trying to learn the game. So we're going to have cool summers, short winters, and less raiders and dragons. But they're still going to exist, so we can get used to things, right? We pick our name, we pick our banner, cool. I'm not saving any of this, so it doesn't matter, I'm just showing you. And guess what island is sitting in the background as the first island of choice? The one that was just kind of hovering there, the one you just made and edited. So as long as you don't make any changes over here and hit new map, and you just go over and hit accept, you can take your custom island into survival mode. So that's the first cool thing I learned about the console version of this. It helped me out a lot. So we're just going to back out of all this because that was just a fun tip. We're now going to load my custom island, my year 0 citizens. As you can see, I've got 48 years now and almost 225 or 24 citizens, not almost. We'll just say the number. But it's a cool island. Let's check it out how it looked at the very beginning. Hey-yo, we'll go ahead and pause time. Left and right on your D-pad at this point, either fast forward or pause time, or, they just move how fast time is. So you just put it where you want. For now, I'm going to pause it. The island I settled with had a few, and that's all I did was make edits to a already existing island. And it's making me build my keep. It won't even let me like zoom out all the way to give you a bigger view. So I'll just show you the island. But I basically just filled in all the gaps, gave it a little more space on the coast, made all the coast kind of look sand with the barren, added some fertile in, made it look a little naturally blended, added a bunch of forest. All of the iron and stone nodes, I actually spawned in some hard rock here and there so that I would still have to deal with it as a player. I didn't want to immediately just nerf my world to the point where it was just so easy for me to succeed. A game mechanic later on will be to be able to remove black rock so that you can make more efficient things. So I left some around the world. I separated these a little bit. I moved one away that was like sitting right on the coast, so I would never be able to make a large one on it because it was like right on the coast. Things like that. I didn't want to completely destroy the reality of survival mode. I just tweaked it a little bit to make sure I didn't run into any hinky things. Like this one, I think I scooted away because it was sitting like here, which would have meant that I could have never built a quarry around it. So I swapped it and put it there, and so now I could technically put a large quarry around it one day if I were to get over there and do that. Now this one I didn't touch. This was the natural witch hut that was already on the map, so it's like I don't know what they do. I'm not going to spawn any more of them, but since it's there, it's really far from where I wanted to build, so we'll figure out what it does. I did put a little natural water lake over here because there are some things like aquifers and norias and things that draw off a natural water source that has to be freshwater. So instead of just the ocean, I did put a little lake in there, but I didn't want it impeding everything. So this will probably become where all my freshwater gets drawn from later on if I do aqueducts and such. And yeah, So this was the map I made. And I knew I was going to primarily build right around here and have all this very lush ground. And that's the color difference. Very yellow, barren. You cannot grow gardens and stuff on this. Then you have the light green. This is fertile. You can build on fertile. But then there is, or build gardens, I should say, like on fertile. Um, but then there's very fertile. Very good for agriculture. You should plant your gardens on the darker green, very fertile land. It just makes things more efficient. But you can technically make it work here. If a crop goes over onto barren, though, it cannot be built. So that's something to keep in mind. That means barren land is really good for building houses. If you were to do this naturally and you didn't want to edit your map, try to keep in mind that all of the barren land would be probably where you wanted to try to build all your houses and non-farming things and focus all your farms towards the darker green areas. So all of that in mind, cool. First thing you have to do is build a keep. It's like the very first step. It's sitting here telling me build your keep near fertile land, trees, and stone. So we've identified all that. We have trees, we have what is called fertile land, and we have, hey look, some stone. I wanted my village area, my big build area, to probably take up this big, just here. This is going to be the living space in my head. I was thinking, cool, middle of the island. I could put a big wall around it, and at the top of every cool village is a castle, the keep, such. So this is how I started. I put my keep up here. I zoomed in on it and I rotated it to make sure I was kind of looking at the front. Oh, there's the door, which you can always kind of find the door of something. That's the front. So I wanted to put it up here near the stone and everything. The keep is the only thing you can build through trees. It will let you just kind of knock out trees for free. After that, we're going to have to chop down trees to build. So if I think about the keep, and I think about a road that's going to go around it, right? I think this will work. Then I'll say why. Gives me 2 spaces on the side for iron and some stone over here, so I put this here. Let's do this. That'll work for me. So immediately make sure, okay, time is paused. What's going to happen when this keep finishes building with the free citizens it gave me as builders? If I go over to job priority, I have 3 builders. Oh, I thought 4, but 3. They're already working on this. Cool. What I would like to do before they finish that, so I already have time pause, is go ahead and give homes to the first wave of people that are going to move in. So I'm going to go ahead and try to build a road patch and then homes. That was my first step. Now I've got some trees I need to clear, but I don't want my villagers to go work on that. First thing I want to do is go up to my little housing area, put a tiny patch of road here. Now I'm going to go back to housing and put, say, now this is the actual middle of the keep. So this is probably where my road's going to split and go down that way. So I can do 2 homes here. Now we can just kind of let things play out. And what's up, Steve? It is good to have you, brother. We are just playing a new simulator for life, and this one's more like about castles and kingdoms, hence the name of the game. And it's got me already just with its name. So we already have these builders that were working on the keep, now looking for a place to live. Thankfully, we've already commissioned homes for them. Now this is just, I kind of, like I said, I was playing Anno a lot, and I watched a few YouTubers already, and I just brought some things over. So we're just going to let time keep going. It's become a quiet little hamlet. Nice. Now the kingdom, as you can see, already has food. Where is that food coming from? The keep. The keep already came stocked with a little bit of stuff, but we need to generate food pretty quickly if we want to stay alive. So get this hamlet going. Now I already have a build plan in my head, like how I would like my kingdom to look. Again, knowing what everything's requirements are is just like a benefit of having going on over creative and looking at all the building shapes and things like that. And also just kind of knowing how these kind of games work. I need lumber to build anything else. I can tab over to the chop mode and queue some stuff for lumber. I can do it one at a time, and I can also queue a chunk. Also, if I want to stop queuing anything, I can go over to cancel and tell them to stop doing that. But this is good for now. This is going to give me some wood so that I can continue to build. I'm going to build some roads going this way, because village houses Doesn't really tell you, but if you select it, something they like down here is to have access to roads, direct access actually. Have a neighbor, so put something next to them, and residents want access to drinkable water. Oof. Hmm. We need to give them a well. So I think a good space for one is right here next to the keep. Now to build a well, we'll see. Oh shit, we need stone. Our cost is wood and stone. So this is our first reason why we wanted to clear this route over here and going this way. On top of building another hovel, because we need people. For every house we build, let's pause time real quick and check this thing out. Hit L2, over here, go to job priority. You get people to fill these jobs. You can change their priority. In fact, we should do that now, just to show you. See how it's really, really purple and then like really, really gray? You can pick it up, move the priority. I will make sure that castle job is now always filled by having it at the top. Timber workers, second. I will always have those timber workers and I'll always have those builders until other things happen. So that is very important. That's how you survive in this game a little later on, because you might just be like full force, hey, I need everyone to work on this or do this, and then you kind of have to balance it out. I'm going to shift over to my like main game in a little bit and show you where I've come from this, but this is how you start up, or how I started up, right? Another fun, important thing to note was, hey, look, I'm kind of close to the coast where I've got some fish. That can be very helpful. So we've got some hamlet. No, sorry, we've got some. Oh God, what are they called? Hovels. What is the castle job for? I have no idea, but it only does one. It only has one, so I've just kind of always put it at the top because it's also very purple. Let me see, castle job. Oh, it gives you your advisors. We'll need a farm first to feed our workers. Good day, sir. I've never done this before. So you can go to your keep and get help, and it also has like a boon. I've just always kept it at the top because it only takes one, and you'll have plenty. Right now we have beds for 15. You can see down in the bottom left, and we have 10 people. Now, as people visit our village, you'll see 4 people visited, but only 2 found the satisfactory home. This doesn't mean you only had room for them. That just means some people just don't want to stay here yet. So I'm going to pause time real quick and go ahead and begin planning some things out here. We've gathered up quite a bit of wood from our little chopping expedition there. I know this is going to become a deposit, right? So I'm going to go ahead and plan for a road to go that way. I'm not going to go all the way to it. That one's not important. This is the one that's important. So I am going to have this one go ahead and curve and go straight to it. And for now, I'm going to have it stop there. And then I'm going to go ahead and tab up, and I'm going to plan a quarry. If the quarry ever acts weird and turns red and says, oh, you can't place it because it needs to be adjacent to the stone, just move it away real quick and bring it back. It'll flip itself naturally, and boom. Now we can put 2 quarries actually on 1 stone, but we don't have enough wood to do that yet. So we're going to let them build, and we're going to let them move over to that stone quarry and work on that. What's up, Rias? Good to see you, brother. I was trying to think of what to call you on here, but I guess you already have your name on as a YouTube name, so. I am just showing how I started up on this, and I'm about to switch over to my main game. But we got to cover a few like very important things first, which is getting some homes situated. This thing is a big old 5x structure, right? So I wanted to have my home start there, my road start there. No, it's 3x, I'm sorry. It's a 3x3. So I'm going to go ahead and also plan for some more road going this way, just to show that I am going to split that. And then I want some more hovels being built, just to kind of create a grid. Now, plan for your hovels to be built in grids of like 4 by, like, or 2 by 2, so 4 of them. But obviously you can't really do that yet because the road's not going to go all the way to that one. So just plan for that much space. Because what happens is as you go on, a cottage is like the same thing. It replaces the hovels, but it's a 1 by 2. And then the manor replaces the cottage, and it's a 2 by 2. So just still plan for housing in like 2 by 2 grids. So these 2 also will be accounted for. But now we're going to let those hovels get built. We're going to let that road get built. Let that quarry get built. We're going to start acquiring stone. We need to, however, go to our job priorities and turn off the quarry when it gets there. because we need to work on a garden. Though it's the middle of winter in our first year, now it's going back to spring, so I just kind of, all right, we need wood. So go to our chop menu, get some wood. For now, that's kind of the best way to do it, but we will set up something else later that shows a way to like kind of permanently get a little bit of wood. But that's mostly to feed charcoal, so it really doesn't get you wood. Just why adding wood to your map earlier on would, like I said, still benefit. Add as many trees as it lets you, because there is a limit. Okay, so we've made it over here to our fertile land. First thing you might want to do, if you're running out of food, is go ahead and build an orchard. The reason I say that is because a farm, let me pause time. A farm is cool, but it creates grains, but you have to have a small granary to gather those grains and store it. Then you have to have a bakery to turn that into bread to technically have food. So this is a process food, like a production line. Again, the understanding of Ano helped me know that, like, okay, nah, this one just creates food for wood. This is the most simple, cost-effective way to solve the food problem early on. And an orchard is a 2x2, so we're going to go ahead and just start. Boom. We've got a little bit more road to work with. And it'll count the road's length, even if it's in the construction phase. So we can now go back and add another orchard, except, oh no, it also costs wood. So we have to wait for that wood project we started over here to come through. You can speed up time really fast, but I call this risky, because if you do that, yeah, you might be able to see things happen faster, but you're just kind of wasting time where you could be doing other things along the way, and then as soon as you have enough to do what you need to do, you can do it. So only do that in instances where you have nothing else to do but wait. 3 people visited, but only 2 found a satisfactory home and decided to stay and serve you. That's fine. We have plenty of beds still to have more people, so that wasn't the issue. What we need is the food so that we have, you know, an actual food source coming in. And then we need that well. So early on, you're not going to be able to satisfy all these needs, and people are going to suffer a little bit. They don't really know how to like optimize this yet. I'm not the greatest at this game, but I just know that this is how I'm kind of started on my other one. And it eventually kind of, the scales balanced out and it worked. But you have things like the storage place that'll like store things that this makes, so anything it makes before winter will go to waste unless you have a storage. Fishing hut that I put on the coast to be able to also make fish, because people are going to require protein as well. You can do that through pork or fish. I chose fish on the coast because I'm familiar with it with Ano, to just build a road over there and build a little fishing area. This orchard will eventually produce itself and go from there. We need to have another wood cutting project, so I guess we will give those people something to do by just cutting some more wood down this way. And go ahead and cut some more wood down this way. Now we have had some stone get produced from the quarry, so I'm immediately going to build a well over all the things that are important to us. This isn't required, but it helps villagers gather water and put out fires should one arise in this area. Now they can do it naturally, but having a well lets them gather more water and do it more effectively. So have your wells spread out like easily. Also, the villagers wanted access to fresh water, so a well gives them that happiness as well. So it serves 2 purposes. 1, safety. 2, fresh water for villagers. Check mark there. Now they need access to coal as well, so we're going to handle that too. We're going to go ahead and show another really important thing that is needed. It is over here in the resources, but a little higher. The quarry for the stone, yes, was a must. Small stockpiles. These require workers, and you put them around, lets them build up some things. You'll need, where is it? The forester. Aha. The forester you need to build in a way that it has access to trees at first. So just for example, say I'm going to make this road go a little further this way. I mean, not necessarily. You'd be more teaming up with Kane to do it, but I could facilitate that. My good friend is coming over to help set up the 3D printer that we also acquired from another good friend. Go back to build mode. So if I do pop in and out a little bit, it is to make sure I'm properly welcoming him and things like that. So no, you can stop by. Sorry if I replied to that comment late too. Alright, so at the end of this chain, we are going to clear one more spot. And then because it's away from our homes, because we're going to build our homes over here, right? And we're going to do like 6 long that way. We're also going to do like 6 long this way. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're not going to want to produce coal in like a 3x3 area of that. So we might even let our forester be there, but we might let our road go up a little further. And then clear 2 spots next to it. Because I'm going to make a road, and then I'm going to make 2 little charcoal places. And then I'm going to still clear that for the forester. I had time on fast forward too. That's not good. See? Hungry and house has no food. We're working on it. An orchard's been built, I promise. We'll go ahead and set up another orchard. We can do a small granary. And go ahead and do like 2 farms. But with all that built over there, it's only safe to like add a well. And with all that built, you might also want to go ahead and put a small stockpile so that any excess things that get built will still be stored. Built, harvested, you know what I mean. So our builders have a job. We got 2 little orchards, we have some grains getting made, and we have a granary. But we're going to need like a bakery to actually put that into use. And the bakery, as soon as you go to look at it, oh, it needs gold. Oh dear. So we're going to need a way to earn gold. That's going to be back down in our castle area. Treasure room. So you just need to save up a good amount of wood and some stone, and you can make yourself a little treasure room, right? People are getting hungry, but that's fine. The orchard should start making some food soon. Now they're going to want a tavern. They're going to want a lot of things. They're going to have a lot of needs. That's how the game goes. It has things go on. They start needing things. You start making them. So you'll need to make yourself a tavern here soon too. Oh, you might also want to start thinking about a road that goes all the way to here to making a fishing stuff as you unlock it. All of that kind of good stuff. Now I am going to still set up this that I told you about over here. So I'm going to do the forester. Boom. Then we're going to set up some more road. And then on this side, charcoal makers. Go ahead and put 2 of them in there, because you're going to need it. You'll end up replacing this with like a large charcoal maker. But you want at least a 3x3 block, 3x3 space of charcoal away from any homes, because as you see, like it said, it makes smoke. That's like a no-go. So this will go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is not a proper gap. So I'm going to demolish these. I didn't follow my own rule. So we're going to make this road go a little further. We're going to demolish these trees. Because if I want my homes to go, like I said, from here to there to there, we'll go ahead and just mark that tree by getting rid of it. I want my charcoals to be at least far enough away. 3x3 block. So if I were to say, put them down here, you know, that'd be fine. They're plenty far from my housing to not be a problem. but we're still going to want that small stockpile to store any excess charcoal or lumber or stuff that happens over in that area. So we set up a little lumber and charcoal production place. Now it hasn't been finished built, but our job priority has, as you see, definitely filled up because now we have a lot of different jobs in here. So timber workers will leave at the top and builders will leave up at the top for now. Farmers, orchardists. Let's move our orchardists above farmers because orchardists definitely make food no matter what. Charcoal makers will actually move above that. Quarry workers will move above that. And granary workers will move just above that. You want to pick the order best for you to support what you have going on. Right now I have people building. I want that up there. And I have timber workers. If I want to clear trees, I want them working on that. But otherwise, I want them working on food. Orchard makes direct food, but farmers leads into it later on. The granary, we could probably move to be a little higher on. And then stockpile a little higher up too. See, to have workers all put around now, though we have no one working in the quarry, and we only have a few people, or one person working in the charcoal. And we have 25 out of 25. My lord, people visit, but none can find a home. Our city is full. We need more homes. We need more homes. I've been not seeing this notification go off because I've been working on trying to optimize all this. We need more homes. So let's go build those because we have the wood to do it. I've just been being slow. So for now, let's start with hovels. But at the same time, because we have access to a cottage, we can now place that. And as you can see, it's basically the 1x2 equivalent to these. These will fit 5 apiece, so 2 of them is 10. This holds 12. So there's a small boost to that. 2 of these would be 24. I think a manor holds 25, so a small boost to that. So optimize-wise, you're going to slowly level up your houses for freaking for what they're called, cottages, and then for manors. They have all their needs, like taverns, things like that. But this is a way to immediately start solving that. Now, we need gold. We talked about that earlier. We have a quarry. We need to make sure people are working on that quarry. Now that they have access to food, things like that, and their happiness is okay, let's go to that job priority and move that quarry workers up the list. Above stockpile workers, above granary, above farm, above everything, actually. Let's just throw it up there for a minute because that's okay. The only thing that gets cut off if I go look down to the bottom is the stockpiler workers and the charcoal makers, and we can live without that for a second. And even then, it's still tiered off because we had more people move in because we built more housing. We still need to build even more housing. No, advanced sound, sorry. Now we need even more. So you don't need anything but wood to build hovels. So hovels are a great way to just quickly boost your population so that you have access to workers. Because otherwise you're not going to have the workforce to do the things you need to do. So start with the cheap hovels because it will give you population, but don't overdo it because then your needs will get stretched too far. So I have 2 farms and a granary, but they're still not doing anything because I don't have a bakery. But we don't have any gold yet to make a bakery, so it's just kind of producing, and that's fine. Now we have those still set in the job priority where they're a little high, and it's still working on it, but we need a place to start storing some of that produce. So a produce storage, but also costs even more on the quarry. But we have that quarry jacked up to max. So it's stuff like that. I don't know if when would be the best time to cut off. I think after I have the treasury built will be a good time because then, like I said, you can start earning gold, show you about taxation, and go from there. Now I'll probably build another orchard, wrap the road around that. So yeah, it's like almost the exact placement from when I did it for real, for real. So we're gonna jump from like, okay, so we're already 5 years in, as you can see, by the way. The kingdom, while is progressing quickly, it shows the realisticness of like it takes a long time for trees to grow and things to be built and farms to start producing and homes to be built. And we're 5 years into this. Small treasure room needs 40. Let's go ahead and build that second quarry and double our production on the quarry. And we can then also put a road over here to connect it. And you know what they could probably use? A small stockpile. Because anything that produces a lot needs a small stockpile. Now, why wouldn't I put it here? Because eventually this is going to be a big 3x3. So I'm going to let the road wrap around that 3x3, so I don't want that there. Let's just go ahead and put it here. Because eventually this road will be edited to go around all that. So to avoid later demolition and shit like that, we're just going to think about that 3x3 now and just work with it. So we've doubled our quarry workers. And we have 33 people living in the kingdom. House has no food. That shouldn't be a thing. But if it is, we will build more roads and build even more farms, right? In the form of orchards, because orchards just become food. Now we need another wood cutting project to happen because all this is in the way. This building's on fire. Now, as you can see, all of my little villagers rush to it immediately and start putting it out. But because they have access to that well that we placed, they can make it happen even easier. And it started to rain. How lucky are we? That fire should be no problem at all. Now, you can check your villagers' happiness and see what else they need. But if there's nothing glaring there, it's hard to do it. But they need fish or pork. So that's the next thing to make everyone happy. So we're going to want to work on that. But we need gold in circulation to be able to make fishing huts or anything like that. So in order for you to get access to the fishing hut, as you can see, you just need a little bit of gold. And then a little bit more gold to actually process it properly. So like 20 gold to get fishing going. And then another really important thing is the dock, 25 gold. But if you build a dock, you can sell off anything you have in excess, like excess wood, which I would not recommend because you only have so much of that. But like excess coal from your coal production, that might be something you turn into gold from a visiting merchant ship. That'd be kind of cool, you know? So that's something you wanted to bridge towards the coast to do quickly. Hey, we have enough to build that small treasure room. Now with this built, we are able to start taxing the people. Now, this is going to be a job. You need tax collectors. This, I believe, takes 5 people. So we will have to assign 5 people to being tax collectors, and then you can select your tax rate. I'm going to go ahead and set my tax rate for just a humble 10%. Now, 10% at this amount of villagers this early game is not going to earn you a lot of gold. I'll tell you that right now. This will mean that I'm still going to probably push towards getting the large treasure room, putting it off the side of this, doubling it to up to 15 tax collectors and a large stockpile for gold, and then letting them do their horrible thing each year at a tax rate about 10 to 20. But if I ever just need gold, you can jack that tax rate up for a couple little bit, but just know that that will be in your little yearly report of like, oh man, for this year, taxes sucked. But people are deciding to say, and things are looking okay. I think the best thing you could do now would be adding a fish port. Again, taking gold. So I'm going to jump over to my main save now. I'm going to take a quick break to go grab a drink. Just let this roll for a second. Let's see. Want that to finish. Fast forward for just a second. Doop. Alright. Job priority. Castle jobs, builders. Something else I want to point out real quick before I go over to the main one. You see the color of things? It has a gradient to it where it starts to kind of naturally tell you the order the developers think is how you should prioritize things. Now you can move, especially like your quarry workers and your timber workers around, but otherwise you see this very natural, like green to like more brown that would happen. Now say if I were to put these in line with that, it would have these way down at the bottom, and if you have excess people, they would work on it. But now you can see what I'm talking about very clearly. Uh, but you can move things around. If you make a huge building project and you need people to work on it, you go shift builders up to the top real quick. Um, or if you have a need for quarry, you bring them up to the top. Or if you want to turn a job off entirely, you can select it and press triangle and just turn it off, and it'll distribute those other words. Like, oh, I don't need that right now, so we're good. Um, I really don't know what else to do in the quick little tutorial besides go back over to my main game and continue working on it. I have been like a pacifist nation for the first 50 years of its existence. The first generation is starting to die off of old age, and with that happening, I realized they never had a military. They never did anything to defend themselves. The dragons attacked and started fires. Vikings attacked and kidnapped people and stole gold and burned buildings down. Really didn't have anything to do about it. But it was still my like village building instincts kicked in, and I wanted to do that more than I wanted to just um, like build a military and get down on that. So I didn't at first. But now on the main game, it's time for me to start building a military and walls and stuff to start defending my assets because I'm starting to get attacked by things a little more aggressively. So without further ado, I'm going to take that quick break. I guess we'll just let this roll for a second because there's no reason not to let my villagers do their thing. Um, oh, I don't have any gold yet. It's unfortunate. Just to show it, I guess I'm not keeping this. But you can jack that tax rate up pretty high. And you probably get gold pretty quick. Have tax collectors working, right? Yep. Now, this happens only once a year, though. So let's speed it up. So once a year, everyone will get taxed. It'll be brutal. They'll hate you for it. But as you can see, I'm starting to acquire gold for it, right? And there you go. That's how you actually get gold, but at a more like accelerated rate. Just for the example, I have it turned back down, and you just have a year in your history now where everyone hated you for your taxes, but you got a little bit of gold to work with, so you can throw that at something a little more important, like oh, a tavern doesn't actually need gold, but it is needed for everyone's happiness. So you can go ahead and like say throw a tavern in there, fucking for everybody's sake. Hello. And then you could also think about throwing more wells everywhere. But the other important one, like I said, like produce storage. Oh, that also doesn't need gold. So again, produce storage, so that anything that was produced, whether it be fruit or wheat and such, doesn't go bad during the winter stages. Go ahead and throw one of those down. And something that did need gold that I thought was really important. I think it's just the fishery. So we'll pause time real quick. And just for the concept of it, right? If you were to build a road all the way over here, you get yourself to the coast. You have to clear trees and such. When you were there, if you were to build a fishing hut, you can build it in the water, but you need docks to get it attached. But you can build it off the coast. But you set that up with a road and a fishmonger, you'll start producing an alternative form of fish and food source for your villagers that they actually need. If you select it and you select their health, actually, you'll eventually find out that they need access to fish or pork. Right now, they're living off fruit and bread, which is great, but starch and fruits and vegetables, there's no protein there. They need some protein. We're going to supplement that with fish. And that's really the best way to get things kick-started. After that, you really just kind of got to look through your build menu and see what else you have access to. Oh, swine. So there's how you could get pork. The market, carry extra food and charcoal to the market to create easy access for the heads of household. So establish this near houses to give houses easier access to the supply of things. Larger market. The Noria, again, the thing that could draw water from freshwater, probably move it over to your farms, i.e. why I have my farm near it. Everything is really just learned by going through the menu and seeing what you can build and then figuring out where you're going to build it and why. And then you'll get attacked by dragons and orcs and trolls and Vikings, and things will get fucked up, and you'll have to fix it. But that's the loop, right? So we're just going to let this run on play, let them do their thing, and I'll be back in a second. I'm going to go take a drink and greet my good friend Aaron, who was in the chat a little bit, asking if he could come over and set up the 3D printer. He is now here, and we're probably going to start setting up a 3D printer as well in the background, but I'm around. All right, I'm back over here, and I have given it a little time to build up a little bit of gold, enough to show you at least what I meant. Um, it's actually really important to do this. No, just to show you a little bit more of how I got things started off. before I show you the actual mega village that I'm living in. As you can see, we are on the oh, we need more homes. We're already at that point. We need more hovels at least. Damn. Okay. They've already been telling us people need more homes. We could be gaining villagers, but because we have a lack of homes, we're not. We could build our first manor with all of this, actually, but we're not going to. We're just going to stick with the cottage for now because the manor costs gold. This only costs wood and stone, so we can work with that. Put 2 more of these in, though. We'll have more homes. Put one, like, over here. Build some road. Now we have access to stone road now that we have stone and gold. And stone road just makes anybody trading or moving things be able to do that faster and easier. I'm gonna take it off 3 times speed now. It's a little bit much. But as you can see, you don't want to build too many homes at first. Now, you also don't. It sucks to have the notification that I ran out of room. I didn't have that the first time I built too many homes, actually. So it was the opposite problem. But cottages take a little time to build. Let's go check out that job priority. So we got quarries back at the bottom. Timber workers are way, way at the bottom. Let's move those just above the quarry at least so we can get this tree out of the way. And I'm not going to let this build finish, but I am going to show like what kind of thing I did for the harbor over here. At any point you can just be like, you know what, I want my timber workers to just go to ham. They will. You'll watch your people march over here and delete this area, giving you plenty of wood to work with later on in the space you want to build. Now, the space I want to build was for, go up here to the coastal thing, we got this beautiful dock. We can slot this bad boy in. We'll rotate it, put the crane on the sides toward the water, which I think I messed up and didn't do that as best I could. I think I did my, like this on the first one. Damn, I might rebuild it. Oh well, doesn't matter. But, get that dock in there, go back down to other needs. We can build that bakery finally, put that to use. Rotate this in here. Go ahead and build 2 of these bad boys. The road. Make sure all this stuff has some road so it can be a thing. It's a little fishing harbor we're working on now. So merchants can trade with us and we'll be fishing now. And it has fish outside. That's why these fishing little hamlets work there. And it'd probably be a good idea to give them a stockpile. Oh wait, you know what I didn't do? We need to demolish these 2 roads, actually. We need to build one more thing over here that's very important to the fishing industry. A fishmonger. But we don't have enough stone or gold. So I guess we will just wait. We'll go back to our job priorities. Move timber worker back down. Move quarry workers back up because we need quarry. Let our tax collectors do their job for a little bit. Speed time up. Now we can access this fishmonger. Throw this fishmonger in here like I wanted to. This actually processes the fish into product, at least from what I can tell from the description. I could be wrong, but that's the little harbor completely set up. Now, this isn't functioning. It doesn't have workers. We would have to shift workers over to that. So job priority wise now, as you can see, things have been added. Your dock workers and your fish industry. And your bartenders from your tavern. And your marketers. So everything becomes a list. Oh, and our first dragon attack is happening. Let's see what it attacks. So we have no archer towers, we have no military yet or anything like that. And I will continue to do that for the first 50 years, it would seem. But there. That's how I actually started. Let's finally actually switch on over. To year 48. Same village concept as you can see. But we built that large treasury on the back. A lot of our houses have become large manors. It's grown down. We've built some town squares. We've got a church. We've got a library. We've got... What the hell is that sound? People building, I guess. That's a lot of different sounds at once. Oh, the fisheries are lacking on workers probably because things are going on. Yeah. Everything is going on at once. The charcoal kiln has become a double, big, large kiln. Oh, this is on fire. While it's being built. Jesus. At least I put a well over here. But that's what's happening. Let's just pause time on our nice little village here. I recently launched a huge expedition to cut down a ton of wood. All of these people are probably returning from that. So I can probably move timber workers back down the list of things to do. Time is paused, so that's not going to flow. Dock workers and stock. Now, dock workers needs to go up on the list, but at the same time, we need people. Marketers is kind of draining us right now. Marketeers. Let's move marketeers a little bit further down the list, just below dock workers. Press play, because that's going to let that bleed into it and fill those positions and just leave marketeers a little short. And librarians, sick. Our library finished building. So as you can see, I now have quarry workers. I have castle jobs still, the tax collectors, doctors, cemetery caretakers, which collect bodies, doctors cure people. All kinds of things going on in the village. We had to build a cemetery. I've got a farm, which is boosted if you have a windmill. It gives a little 9 by, or a little 3 by 3, but a little 9 by grid. We need more homes, so I'm going to go ahead and build another manor. We should have a material for it. We have the population to support pretty much almost everything. Oh god, you're on fire. Put it up. Now, I'm eventually going to build fire brigades to help with this, but I might actually be able to do that now. I can finally build a fire brigade. Let's do that. Right next to the clinic. That's actually perfect. Clinic and fire brigade. They serve as both. I need to start building a military. Now the merchant ship is here, so I can, like I said, building that little dock right there allows merchant ships to visit me. I have a bunch of excess coal and wood. I'm gonna sell every bit of it lets me for free gold, or kind of free, but I don't need it. But I don't want to sell my wood. I might need wood. Wood's important, non-renewable. I'm gonna say goodbye to my good. Oh shit! I backed out of it. But I'm gonna say goodbye to my good friend. He came over here and set up this 3D printer like super fast as fuck. That was awesome. So I'm thinking I need this Chamber of War because what I really came back to my world to do, we've got it in pause, so let's just look around. So I've got the whole town thing working. I've built up everything, but we're like 50 years in on being pacifists, man. We haven't fought back at all. It's time to build barracks. We've got Vikings, as if you look over in your little minimap area, if you turn that on. I've got 3 years until Vikings attack me again through their threats, and another 9 years before a dragon attacks me. We need to have some kind of defenses. So I think the first thing we should do is pick an area for those defenses. Now this has been my charcoal area, but all of this can move aside and go over into like the forest. I don't mind. I just kind of built it over here because it was like how it got built at first. This might become my barracks and everything else. So that might be the first line of business. I got plenty of wood and plenty of charcoal. So this industry can be torn down and replanned over there, and I can replan for all the barracks and everything. And I think that's what I really need to do. Now I have 50 gold. Oh no, I had need 50 gold. I don't have 50 gold. So let's. Oh, the merchant ship just left. I can't trade with it. Okay, so we're just gonna let things go for a second until I have that 50 gold. So long as we don't get attacked by those Vikings before I had the 50 gold, I can build. Now I have a 20% tax rate, so okay. Now that 20% tax rate, boosted by the fact that I have 15 tax collectors and a ton of people at this point with a bunch of manors. If they have a manor, they pay more taxes. There's more heads of household in them. Like there's a whole lot to it, and I know Shadow, you just wanted to play a cool sim game. It has a lot going on, and I'm trying to make this a little more cohesive. Um, I can send you a grid pattern for my planned village I'm gonna do, and my planned farm with some adjustments I've made. Um, it's like a light concept of the idea, but yeah, I am working with it. So we might scoot this over now, over here, and start working on barracks and shit. But I can also start putting my barracks like right behind the house. At least the war chamber and shit. Later, Aaron. Love you, brother. Chamber of War. We have enough gold and everything else for it. So let's go ahead and it's a 3x1. So I mean, 10. Oh wait, it can't fit in here. Why can't it fit there? Oh, because technically that little space there is still part of the castle. So if it's the keep, the chamber of war. I'd like it to be attached to the keep. What if we stuck it in there? I don't know. I mean that's cool. It does expand upon the keep, I guess, but it's just, huh. What if we got like a? No, because that just goes into that. So I guess the best thing to do here is to just attach it over here on the side. Now do I attach it there? Do I attach it there and fill that with garden space? Leaving, yeah, I think that's what we'll do. Let's attach it here for now. And then we're gonna go in. Oh shit. Statue. Oh, they cost so much. Oh my god. Okay, just parks. I can't plant a tree. Oh my god, everything costs so much gold. Okay, well, we'll just leave that open then. A well is always helpful though. We have a well right there though, so never mind. We're gonna let that war room get built, and then we're gonna start working on the rest of this. Now, oh, I could have. I forget I can check dimensions. So I should have. What I should have done did. Well, let's do that. Okay. Chamber of War is a 3x1, obviously. This is a 3x2. 3x2 means it could have slotted in right there, and this could have been facing the other way. So we're gonna go ahead and demolish this real quick and replace it because 3x2 on the other means it can fit in right there, and that dead space can just sit in the middle. When we get to the time of building this Great Hall, 3x2, it's going right there. That means it's going to end right here. So barracks is another 3x2. This line can continue this way pretty easy. Thing is, where do we end? We start, actually might want to have the Great Hall be attached to it, yeah. But then the barracks, archer school, and siege workshop, 3x2, 3x2. That might be something we might want to start doing over here, 3x2. And then, oh, you know what? We don't even have to move these guys. They can stay right here. I can do a 3x2 right here, and then a 3x2 right here. And they can stay. And then we'll just fit that Great Hall right there. Oh, I like that. Okay. We ain't gotta do nothing. We ain't gotta destroy nothing, move nothing. All right, we looking good, boys. All right, and that's how these games work actually. And I like that they do at least tell you what the grid size is on some of these, because in some games they don't tell you the grid size. You just have to like wait till you could actually like pretend to place it. Since right now I can't even like pretend to place it because I don't have the resources. Um, I don't know how big it's gonna be. I'm not building walls around or anything yet. But I need that military. God, I got 3 years until they attack, so I need that war room to finish. So let's go to our job priorities. Quarry workers has been boosted to the top, and that's fine. We're gonna let them stay up at the top, but we need to check what we're lacking on at that point then. Nothing. We are good on everything being filled. Um, So what I need to do then at that point is, oh, nothing. I guess if everything's going just as it should, I guess I can tell charcoal workers they're allowed to work again. Oh shit, I did not mean to move them on. But the builders only have 12. Why do the builders only have 12? Timber workers right now are the ones slacking, but that's fine. We have like 800 timber. Alright. Guys, I'm going again. Why are people not happy? Couldn't tell you. We can check on things. Why? Because their houses have been burned. Too far away. Oh, y'all need... What? Okay, how do I solve that? And where's the library I built? I thought I built it right here. Oh, no, that's right. I attached it to the courtyard there. 'Cause, I need one there. 50 years. God, I kind of got. This is where the game does start to get like overwhelming, and like I have to start thinking about like, hey, what am I really doing next? I guess before I run out of space for people to live. No, I need to wait. The barracks get built yet? No. Or that's not the barracks, it's the war room. I need to wait for the war room to be built so I can start building the barracks. But with that in mind, I guess I can go ahead and queue for these spaces that I already knew I'm going to need. Get that out of the way. Now that's just a clinic. And that's just a fire brigade, but that's going to help too. And those are going to need workers. And I have homes. Um, but I don't know. Because I'm going to get more homes here. So I'm going to have more people moving in. I don't have long before I'm getting attacked by Vikings again. I really need to get the barracks up and turn idle people into soldiers. I also need to start making archer towers. So the stream might not last super long. It's kind of random because I was just playing this, but I was messaging my boy Shadow and was like, "Hey yo," uh, and he was letting me know he was starting over, and I was like, "Man, I can do something real quick to show you how I started, at least to get you kind of going." And it kind of seemed like a good idea. But now I'm gonna be really slow and going and like thinking about everything I do like super strategically. So it might not be the best content. I mean, I guess I'll keep it going for a little bit, but um. Again, that's gonna happen a lot, so I'm not sure. Uh, I still might push this over further into the trees, so this can have better access to the trees. But that more might be like this. Just move it over into the trees, set up another charcoal thing, so I can sell all the excess charcoal, and make a large stockpile, like over here on the corner instead of the small stockpile. So if I have an excess of it, it can pile up. That's a thought. Hmm. Honestly, I could have more than one at that point. So let's think about that. If we had a forester, they like at least that much space. If I made one, well, I guess let's just, for the sake of it, cut ourselves a path over. Because those stone quarries over there are eventually going to be for us as well. So we're going to need a lot more stone. But the ones we have are working well. And because we have our job priority set for them to be going at like 4-8, they're building up a good amount. And that's really all you have to do for a little bit too. That's why job priority is nice. I can now move that back down to the bottom since everything's pretty much full anyway. And just keep that good spectrum looking the way it says. Charcoal makers, it says, like, can go lower, which I guess is fair. But, I don't know. According to it, this is good. But as long as I have enough people, I mean, I guess it works. So, for now, we'll let it be. And if I need to move something around, I can. But everything should still balance out. I know quarry workers are gonna hit the bottom. That's fine. But as people move in, that'll fill up. We have homes for everyone, so as soon as that finishes building. Now, archer towers and towers I can start making, I guess. I would really just need to start thinking about where I want them. And that means I need to think about that grid I have in my head of like defenses. And I'm using the same grid I found online actually for a good stable village, so I can send that out and everything. But for now in my head I'm thinking, okay, these doubles over here are the tops of the doubles. The top of this double I've already built a farm. To get a shop. So next to the top of those doubles, if I do next to the top of those doubles, that would totally work actually. Because then those would become. So let's say we build. Archer Tower. Now, Yeah, that's what I thought. Archer Tower is going to need castle wall. So if we need a castle block. We can do it 3 tall, right? But then we're going to need castle stairs to get to it. So it would have to become like. So that I did that one 3 tall. 1, 2. This has to be 1, and then it would have to be castle stairs. Doing this, and then, until it's built. So we'll just put things in play. I'm not exactly sure how to build an archer tower in this game. Might need to wait till I build my walls. But for now, these will become, like, I guess, temporary ones until I figure out what the hell I'm doing. A lot of people visiting really quickly, though. So I'm going to start wanting to replace homes. I might not know how to do castle walls. See, this is why I might need to look things up. And Vikings are going to attack in 1 year. See, I don't know how to set up defenses. So let's real quick demolish all this before it finishes building. Because I think you get a full refund. Oh, I don't get a refund if it's not done. Or if it's not done, I think I get the refund, but once it's done, it's not a full refund. Okay, that's fine. Pause time. Is this done building yet? Yes. Okay. Job priority. Did that get added as a job? Firefighters, that's in there. We need to keep them as a higher list thing. Right under doctors. But that military training has been added. We're gonna add that right under the bartender. But that lets us build barracks and such. We have a year until the Vikings attack. I think I'm gonna end stream here because this is, I think, exactly what I wanted it to be for Shadow. Like, hey, this is how I started. Um, I don't want it to go too much further than that because now I am also just in back in the weeds. So I'm gonna start looking things up again and trying to survive because this game's pretty cool but pretty hard. So I need to know how to build defenses and defend myself. Later, guys.